Long before towering skyscrapers and neon-lit cities, Japan was a land where nature wasn't just admired, it was worshipped. Every rustling tree, flowing river, and mist-covered mountain was more than just scenery. It was sacred. The people of ancient Japan didn't separate the spiritual from the natural world. They saw divinity in waterfalls, reverence in forests, and gods dwelling in stones. And for centuries, this deep connection between nature and belief shaped not only their religion, but their identity. At the heart of this belief system was Shinto, Japan's indigenous religion. Shinto has no founder, no scriptures, and no dogma. What it does have is kami, spiritual forces or deities that inhabit everything in the natural world. A kami could be as grand as Mount Fuji or as humble as a pebble in a stream. What mattered was presence, energy, a sense of the sacred. This idea created a world where shrines were built in forests, rituals were performed by rivers, and some trees were so holy they were never touched by a blade. Mountains in particular held special power. They weren't just geological features, they were gateways to the divine. Mount Fuji, with its perfect symmetry and snow-capped beauty, was more than a national symbol. It was a kami. Climbing it wasn't just an act of adventure, it was an act of devotion. Ancient Japanese believed that the gods lived above, in the peaks and clouds, and by ascending the mountain, they were drawing closer to heaven. Sacred mountains like Mount Hiei and Mount Osore became centers for spiritual training. Monks would retreat into their isolation, not to escape the world, but to commune with it more deeply. These peaks were not places to conquer. They were places to listen, to humble oneself, to hear the voice of the kami through the rustling of trees and the whistle of the wind. But not all sacred places towered above. Many flowed. Rivers in Japan weren't just sources of water, they were pathways of purity. Water was central to almost every Shinto ritual, especially purification. Before entering shrines, worshippers washed their hands and mouth at a water basin, a symbolic act to cleanse both body and spirit. Rivers were believed to carry away spiritual pollution. They marked the line between the ordinary world and the sacred one. That's why many shrines were built near streams, and why rituals involving water were seen as invitations to the kami. Trees were another powerful symbol. In forests across Japan, you'll find tall, ancient trees wrapped with sacred ropes, shimenawa. These aren't decorations, they are markers, signs that a kami lives here. No one dares to harm these trees. They are not just old, they are divine, and the forest itself becomes a living temple. Walking through it isn't just a hike, it's a spiritual journey. The sacred tree belief goes deeper. In Shinto, there's the concept of yorishiro, objects that can attract kami. Trees were the original yorishiro. That's why even modern shrines often have a sacred tree within their grounds, believed to be the vessel of the local deity. People pray before it, tie offerings to it, and show it the same respect as the shrine itself. This reverence for nature wasn't just poetic. It influenced Japan's architecture, its festivals, even its laws. Shrines were built to blend with the landscape, not dominate it. Festivals aligned with the changing seasons, thanking nature for its gifts. And sacred sites were often protected for centuries, long before modern conservation. In ancient Japan, to harm nature was to offend the gods. This wasn't just symbolic, it was a lived reality. Trees were wrapped in sacred ropes called shimenawa, signaling the presence of a kami or spirit. These weren't mythic tales locked away in temples. They were reminders that even the breeze through the leaves could carry a divine message. Nature was not background, it was the stage, the story, and the sacred all at once. Even death was tied to nature. In some regions, spirits were believed to return to the mountains or the forests after death. Ancestral spirits didn't just vanish, they became part of the land. So worshiping nature also meant honoring family. The land wasn't just sacred, it was personal. When people passed away, it wasn't just mourning, it was a reunion with the divine landscape. Families would visit sacred groves or specific hills believed to house the souls of their ancestors. The same trees that shaded their childhoods were seen as silent guardians of memory. Sacred stones, placed near rivers or at the base of ancient trees, marked the thin veil between the human and the spiritual. Rice, Japan's staple food, was also seen as a divine gift. The rice fields themselves became a bridge between heaven and earth. Before planting and after harvest, elaborate festivals were held to honor the kami who governed agriculture. Every act of cultivation became an offering. The soil wasn't just dirt, it was the flesh of the earth god. This harmony between the spiritual and natural world gave Japan a unique worldview, one that still lingers today. Even in cities, you'll find small shrines tucked between buildings or lone trees standing untouched in urban parks, marked with ropes, silently honored. The past whispers through them. The kami are still watching. Waterfalls were seen as places of purification, where monks would sit beneath the cascading torrents in meditation, allowing nature's force to cleanse their spirits. Mountains like Mount Fuji weren't just geographical giants. They were living beings. Pilgrimages to their peaks were less about conquest and more about communion. A silent prayer, carried on the wind, could echo across the valleys. In a time when much of the world was building temples of stone, Japan built its faith into the wind, the water, the earth. Mountains became gods, rivers became prayers, trees became sanctuaries. And the people of ancient Japan didn't just live on the land. They listened to it, honored it, and believed that in every corner of nature, the divine was waiting. If you found this journey into the past as fascinating as we did, don't forget to subscribe to Global History for more untold stories and ancient truths from around the world.